morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thank you again for being here this morning with us, where it is always a wonderful, compassionate, safe space filled with love and a desire for us to heal ourselves and our families. And I'm so happy to have a dear, dear, dear friend with us this morning, Sylvia. Hi, and we'll get to that in a second. But before we get started, let's start with a serenity prayer like we do every week. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So let me tell you a little bit about Sylvia. Sylvia has been here, oh gosh, probably 10 times in the last five plus years.
Mhm.
She is an incredible, incredible spirit. She's the founder and CEO of Aiming High. Incorporated. She's an author, she's a master coach, she's a speaker, she's a training and development strategist, and she has been doing this life-changing work for over 30 years with people, with businesses, with organizations, with me. I am grateful for her because she has helped change my life personally. Um, she has um, she has worked with companies like Uber, Squarespace, Delta, BET, Essence, LinkedIn, Brown Forman, and so many more. And she has spoken on platforms such as Bishop T.D. Jakes MegaFest, Oprah's Life You Want Tour, BET's Leading Women Define, MogulCon, the Dream Project Symposium, on and on and on and on. And she has an incredible conference of her own called the I Am Woman Conference that she does every September, and I am a witness to the power of that conference. It is phenomenal. It's called I Am Woman. So you'll hear more about that as we get closer to the one in 2026. Sylvia is also a two-time author of two books, The Little Book of Big Questions, A Journey in Self-Discovery, and the I Am Woman devotional for elevated living. And I could go on and on about Sylvia, but most importantly, she is a confidant and a friend and a guide and a coach on so many levels. And she gets up at 5 a.m. and joins us at 6 a.m. her time from San Francisco, where she is based. And so I'm grateful for that and grateful for you, as always, Sylvia. So welcome. Happy to have you this morning.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. It's good to be here. Good to be here. Yes,
Good
thank
to be here. Isn't it good to be seen? I say that too. It's like
Mhm.
good to be here. Good to be
Yes,
in this presence.
absolutely. Absolutely. And what a conversation this morning about serenity and gratitude and
Yes.
how our gratitude impacts, our relationships. And so when we were
Yes.
talking about it, it was, I don't know, a year ago, maybe a year ago, 5 months ago, you do the serenity prayer, Kelly,
Yeah.
but I never, and I've said the serenity prayer as long as I can
Me
remember,
too.
but I had never taken the time to really look up the word and focus
Oh,
on the power of serenity,
I
right?
haven't either, and that's what's so
And
deep. I have not either. I've never. I wear it on my neck. My necklace says it. It's on the refrigerator. It's everywhere. But I've never looked up the word serenity. That's deep.
yeah. Well, we're going to just look at it. That's what I really want to just go through because we use a lot of different words. I know I do. And sometimes I become anesthetized to the word. It
Mm-hmm.
loses its potency. And I
Yeah.
just want us to reconnect to the potency of serenity, given
Yeah.
this is what sunrise is grounded in. And
Yeah.
then gratitude, which I call them like first cousins,
Mm-hmm.
serenity and gratitude.
Yeah.
They are two of the most powerful tools I think available to us as human beings
Mm-hmm.
because they shape so profoundly the quality of our lives in
Mm.
good times and especially in challenging times, right?
Yes.
I think in these times in particular, I am challenging myself and the people that I work with to be hyper focused on your focus,
Mm.
focusing on what you're focusing on. And
Oh.
those are two tools that will keep me focused on the things that keep me empowered and powerful. It gives me access to clarity,
Mm.
and clarity gives me access to action. When I'm not clear, I'm in a state of, I love that old Temptation song, call a confusion, but
Yes.
the confusion comes a lot, in my case, in most people's case, inaction, or we're out of alignment with what we really want, right?
Yes. Can
So,
I ask a question though before you
sure.
go ahead into the serenity piece and the gratitude piece? When you
Yes.
say focus on, stay focused on what you're focused on.
Hmm.
How do you
That's
get
one.
clear on what you should be focused on or
That's
what we are focused on?
that's a very good question. We must become observers of our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, what we do as human beings, we think that
Mm-hmm.
our thoughts and ourselves are one. And we're busy, 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 and we just let the mind do whatever it wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And really, what needs to be is that we tell the mind what to do versus it telling us what to do. But we have to be observers of our actual thoughts. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
way I connect to my thoughts personally, I've learned this over time and I still have to practice it all the time. I check in with my body. I just, a matter of fact, at I Am Woman this year, we did a piece on the power of posture. And most times when we
Mm-hmm.
think of posture, you think of your body. And
Yes.
it's actually a very good analogy because when our body is out of alignment, our physical posture is out of alignment, it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to move and to do things with ease. If your
Mm-hmm.
back is out of alignment, you can't, your knee hurt, your shin hurts. So while we have physical posture, we also have mental posture. So
Yeah.
now this year I've asked women to take the time to do a thorough, frequent self check and check
Mm-hmm.
in and say, so what is my mental posture right now? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it fear based? Is it an overwhelm? What's my
Mm-hmm.
emotional posture? Am I in a state of peace or am I in a state of angst? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's my financial posture? How
Mm-hmm.
am I feeling about my finances? Am I feeling scarce or am I feeling abundant? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so really checking in with our postures, really, and for the mind, really looking at what kind of thoughts am I thinking about on a
Mm-hmm.
frequent base.
Got
And when
it.
I stop and look at my own mind, I can say, "Ooh, whoa, so too much of my thinking is on lack or fear." I'm using
Mm-hmm.
this as an example: negativity, the news,
Yes.
outside voices like that. And I have
Yes.
to quiet the external noise
Mm-hmm.
and become the author, if you will, of what I'm thinking.
Got it.
We are authoring every single thing that we're thinking. And if
Yes.
we can become authors, we become owners of it, right? And then
Yes.
why that is important, it shapes the narrative from which we live our lives. And this
Yes.
is where serenity and gratitude can become a narrative. There's a
Yes.
lot of things I like about myself. There's a lot of things that I don't like about myself. But one of the things that I like is I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be grateful. It took me
Yeah.
years to understand how that was playing out in my life.
Yeah.
But so much of the quality of my life when I'm in a state of gratitude is very different than when I'm
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yes. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
This
Thank you
was
for the clarification of the focus
mhm,
on staying focused on what you're focused on.
mhm.
And that could also then be in the authoring and the thinking of and the leading with our thoughts, being clear on that, I think, is what I hear you saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like this can tell us what to do, or we can tell it what to do, meaning our mind.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I know it sounds oversimplified. It's like a muscle, like going
Mm-hmm.
to the gym. It's a
Mm-hmm.
habit, it's a
Yes.
skill. I love the work. I do use a lot of his work. His name is Edward De Bono, and he says thinking is a skill, and he focuses on this. I won't get into that a whole lot, but the power of parallel thinking when we
Mm.
use the brain power, and one of the ways to get the most out of our brain power when we direct it to stay on one track about a particular issue before it jumps tracks. And most times our
Yes.
brain is just jumping tracks, jumping tracks.
Yes.
get the most from it in that
I
way.
get it. Yes, that's right.
Makes sense.
I'm smiling as you talk about most of the time our brain is jumping tracks, and I'm not going to digress because that's me all day. But anyway, let's go back to
Yeah,
what,
I
you know,
can teach it, but doing it takes a lot of work because
Mhm.
mine is jumping. I catch myself. I started doing one thing and then on to something else, and now I
Me
got
too.
five things going at one time,
Me too.
and it's
That's
just
the beauty of ADD and the beauty of a little tiny pill.
we get there, but it's a very interesting journey,
It
right?
is.
To
It
get there.
is. Okay, so back to the notion of leveraging serenity and gratitude to help with our relationships, because most of us are not dealing with, we're all in relationships with people. And so in many cases here, we're talking about our children or our grown children, teenage children, or it could be another loved one, that we're struggling with, or it could be a parent, that some of
Mhm.
us are doing some caregiving in that space. So go back to that, please, because I asked you that question. I want to make sure we really are grounded in what you said, serenity and gratitude.
Well, for sure, serenity is gonna when we're dealing with other people.
Yes,
Serenity is key because one of the things that's in the serenity prayer is accepting the things that cannot change,
that's right.
right? And so I think when we can get really, really clear, especially in relationships, people are who they are,
That's
and
right.
get out of the illusion,
Mm,
popular illusion, that we could
yes,
actually change another human being.
that's right.
If I can just accept that Kelly is Kelly, Sylvia is Sylvia, and accept that you are who you are and I am who I am, that
Yes,
acceptance will minimize. It won't get rid of necessarily, but it can definitely minimize the frustration that we
that's right.
often feel in relationship with others because our ultimate goal in most cases, especially with children, caregiving, we're in the middle of caregiving my mother-in-law right now,
Hmm.
is wanting to change the person in some way, shape, or form. Like
Yes,
I want her to be more optimistic and I want her to do more exercises and so I'm steady
yes,
saying, "Mom, listen, you did good." And she goes, "You have no idea how hard it is."
right,
So when I hear that,
right,
now I'm pissed and
right,
angry versus Sylvia, have some compassion. Find
right,
a way in which you can reach her listening. Most times we're
right.
speaking to our own listening and not
Yes,
stepping into the reality of the other person, right?
that's right.
So it's a very fine dance, I find. How do we create our boundaries? One, two, uh, try to get some understanding of what the person is going through. Depending on what it
Yes,
is, accessing compassion and empathy can be more difficult, especially
yes,
when you're dealing with people with addictions or repeated habits or
yes,
behaviors. Um, you have to
yes.
keep working hard at the serenity. This is why the serenity piece is it's a simple prayer. Help me
That's
to
right.
accept the things that I cannot change. Acceptance is key. That does not mean agree. That does not mean go along.
Mm,
It does not mean not have boundaries. That is not what acceptance is,
right.
but accepting what you cannot change. I think that becomes the rub, like sandpaper
Yes,
in relationships when there's an unwillingness to accept what is so in the
right.
circumstance. So, for instance, I had a cousin that got addicted to drugs.
Hmm.
And for most of my entire life, we've been, I mean, and this was late in his life, in my opinion. He was like 30 something when he decided
Hmm.
to try drugs and got addicted to it. And then what happened with myself and my family, we were still relating to him pre the addiction.
Mm,
So we was
okay.
unwilling to accept, okay, he's an addict, this is a sickness.
Yeah.
So we kept asking him to commit to these different things. And of course, he would say yes, he was
Mm,
going to do them. And
right.
then 99 different times plus, he would break his word and not do what he said. and we would live in a high state of frustration and anger and all the emotions
Yes.
that go with that. And finally, through some support for our family, we had to accept, no, he is an addict.
That's right.
It seems so simple, right? Right. But I kept trying to relate to this person and treating him like a non-addict versus accepting he was an addict.
Yes.
That right there changed or took a lot of the pressure, if you will,
Yes.
and the angst that kept coming up because my expectations changed. One, I wasn't expecting
Right.
responsible behavior from an addict like I was from the
Yes.
person previously.
Yes.
So this
That's the
acceptance,
hard part. And to your point, though, that acceptance, when it's real deep acceptance, it does lessen the expectation and it helps lessen the frustration. I love that you use that word
and disappointment.
and disappointment.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When we have unrealistic expectations in relationships with people that are struggling mentally, um, emotionally, or with any kind of addictions or substances, then what happens is that we live in this constant state of disappointment
That's right.
because we haven't accepted the reality of what the situation is.
That's
My
right.
husband and I have to accept now that his mom is no longer the go able all of these things. And she and I were like the best of buddies, and we hung out together, traveled together. She loves the, and that is no longer the case.
Yes.
And accepting that, this is the season
It's
that we're
the
in
new
with her.
reality. Right.
Mhm.
It's a new reality. And it's a space to give grace,
That you
which
just took the words out of my mouth. With the acceptance, I'm finding grace, and with that, we find capacity for more empathy.
that's right. That's
I
right.
know we kind of know this stuff, but I think just putting it at the forefront of our minds as reminders, this isn't a one and done kind of thing. It's a
That's
over
right.
and over and over and over. I call it like
Yes.
a consistent gym membership or a
Right.
consistent, whatever the consistent habit is. It's a
Yes.
consistent practice. It's necessary to consistently practice these things. There's
Yes.
a couple things. Do you want to ask a
Keep
question?
going. No, you're great. And I keep cutting you off. So I want you to,
No, I
because
keep engaging because it makes me
okay.
think of things that
Well,
I
I was
really think
thinking
of.
as you were talking about your mom, I was thinking about my mom who has something called Lewy body dementia, which I just found out on August 18th. And it's a cross between Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And it is sort of the worst of both, based according to the Parkinson's, the neurologist. The point is giving grace, I have found to be so powerful and so like you said, staying focused on what you're focused on. Like having her call me 1,000 times a day to come help her with what used to be something that would not be at all an issue. It's like, okay, but it
It's
is
a big
now and
deal.
it's
It's a
different.
big deal.
And so I have what you just talked about with your mother-in-law. It's like
Mhm.
this is a different space that we're in.
Yes, yes.
And it's what a wonderful opportunity to be able to be there
That's the
to
key.
do the things that she
Mhm.
needs, that she can't do like she used to do. It's an
Mhm.
incredible gift to have that time to do it.
That's it. That's it. But, and I should say not but,
And
grace with them, but guess who we most need to have the grace with ourselves?
absolutely.
Because I don't like some of my internal feelings I have about it.
Me neither. Correct. Those
So
frustrations.
I
Hmm.
split where we stay. Thank God. So thank great gratitude is she
Right?
lives only 10 minutes away because we sleep over there most nights, me and my husband,
Hmm. That's a
right? I
blessing.
slept at home tonight, so that means I'm not sleeping with my husband last night, right? So it's
Hmm.
all of these things. But
Hmm.
what I got to was like, okay, well, let's be grateful that she lives 10 minutes away.
Yes.
Grateful that she and I have a really wonderful relationship. I said, Mom, can you imagine if we didn't like
Hmm.
each other and we got to this stage and we laughed?
Yes.
Because that could have been not cool. I said, Ooh, can you imagine if you didn't have a clean house? How the hard we laughed. So
That's
I
right.
have to find like the gratitude in it. Like,
Yes.
hey, my time is my own. I don't have to report to somebody's
Yeah.
job.
What a
And my husband
blessing.
is retired. So we had to really pull for these things and give
Hmm.
myself grace when I was beating up on myself because I feel a bit selfish When I
Yes.
start feeling like too much of my time is being pulled on, I just sat down, and why didn't you think of that before I sat down and call me to come and do this other thing when I was just in the room with you
Right.
two
We
minutes
just said,
ago?
uh-huh.
So
And it's
this
like,
is
okay, more exercise. I can jump up and down. Thank God for that. It's like, how do I look at that positive? But that's so deep. And I want to go back. I love that we're both going through the same type of thing. And a lot of people are. I think most people a lot of people are dealing with, taking care of children and taking care of our loved ones. But I want to also talk about what you touched on earlier, the serenity. And you were sharing that you looked up what the definition of serenity is. And I said, wow, I've never done that. And I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah,
And
it's so powerful.
yes,
Um, I looked at it from a spiritual perspective in other
yes,
ways too, but spiritual serenity is a profound state of inner peace.
mm,
Peace, a couple years ago, I am one when we did a piece on peace, power, and purpose. And I was
yes,
like, well, God, why peace? He says, and it seems so obvious, but not so at the time when I came up or when that title came to me. But if we have inner peace, it
mm,
almost doesn't matter what else is going on in the world. I'm talking true peace,
mm,
that peace that surpasses human understanding, because life is going to do what it does. I say this all the
yeah,
time.
yes,
Circumstances are going to come and go. But serenity is really about inner peace and harmony that transcends external circumstances. That's what serenity is.
that's
And when
so
I go,
deep, especially
wow,
today,
you
especially
see
in
how,
today's times.
oh my gosh, I've had to lean in on it like never before, specifically with the noise, of the political climate and what's going on in
Hmm.
Washington and beyond. But if we thought about that, you see how powerful serenity is when we get to the really definition of it. It is a thing to, the prayer that we're praying at sunrise is so powerful. God, grant me the serenity. We're asking for, grant us the inner peace and harmony that transcends all of my life circumstances.
That's
So
right.
as you pray that prayer now, with that kind of context behind it, it's more powerful. Because
Yes,
I'm actually asking, please grant me, when I say serenity, inner peace and harmony that transcends all of my life circumstances. That's a
yes,
powerful request. It's achieved through acceptance
mm,
of what we just said. It is only achieved through acceptance of what we cannot change.
that part right there. Yes.
Third, serenity is about surrendering the ego. Mm. And as much as I like to think I'm not that way, I am. I think the way that my way is a better way. And the way I think is better. That
And
my
everybody thinks that, right? All people think that.
you know, and I want to say, oh, I'm not egotistical. Yeah, yeah. So our egos, we have to surrender. And I tell you, my younger brother taught me this lesson.
Mhm.
So I said to him many years ago, you never talk. He says,
Mhm.
no, you never talk. I said, yes, I do. I talk all the time. He go, no, you don't. Whenever you're talking to me, you're telling me how I could do this better and what would be another
Mhm.
great idea and how I could do this and how I could do that. So my arrogance was that the way that I
Mhm.
live and my lifestyle is better versus
Yeah,
different. It
versus
hit me like,
different.
I had my 17-year-old nephew give me a new shocker. He was here with me, spent 3 weeks with me before he went off to college. And we were talking. I thought we were talking. He goes, Auntie, does everything have to be a learning opportunity?
Wow,
So
that right there.
17 years old shook me to my core.
That's
So
deep.
my ego took a hit. And I was like, whoa, I'm thinking I'm having a conversation, but I'm in an ongoing lecture with this kid.
Right. And that's what
So
you do
once
for a living, though, right? That's who
Yeah,
you are at your core, your
but that's
teacher.
we want to. He doesn't want a teacher. He wants an auntie.
That right there
He
is
wants an
true with
auntie.
aunties, parents,
Mhm.
siblings. They just want you to be there and listen.
surrendering our ego
Mm-hmm.
and I've learned, I mean, and then the next thing, once I did that, and then he go, Auntie, you want to go to the gym with me? He started inviting me into the places in his life, whereas before he wasn't having a conversation. But I fessed up. I said, you're right. I want to work on it. I really want us to have a different kind of relationship. Check
Yeah.
me when I'm going in too hard, and I'll pull back. But don't shut down.
Yeah.
And that conversation has led to, okay, are you coming for Thanksgiving? Or you could go, you can work out with me, whereas before he didn't want to take me, didn't want me to go with him. But my ego
Love
had
that.
to say, okay, so you're the guru, supposedly, the coach,
Mm-hmm.
the master. I took some coaching from a 17-year-old.
Mm. That's so
So
powerful and so incredibly deep.
this is all in the definition of serenity, which I
Serenity,
never forgot.
surrendering the ego.
hmm And aligning with a higher purpose or divine presence through
Mm-hmm.
practices, which I know all of us have some version of this, either meditation, prayer, or mindfulness, or a combination thereof. And that for me is critical. If I go more than a day without praying and meditating, I start to feel, I can tell it.
Me
My
too.
mindset goes
Mm-hmm.
south very quickly. I have to
Mm-hmm.
stay very on top of my context and state of being.
Yes.
Otherwise, the noise gets louder. The outside noise get
Yeah.
louder than my internal conversation.
Yes.
And I got to also make sure that my internal conversation, my inner me, is not my enemy.
Say
So
that again.
sometimes our inner, so the outside conversation, the noise in the world, we got to make sure we keeping boundaries there so that I can hear my inner me. But sometimes my
Mm,
inner me is my greatest enemy, that
I
conversation that I got
see.
going in my head. So I have to
Wow.
pivot and shift and start and
Mm,
work on the
yes.
conversation. It's an action game. It's not passive, the stuff that we're talking about.
Uh-huh. It's a constant
It's a
action
constant
and a constant
ongoing.
choice.
It's constant. It's ongoing forever. And it doesn't have to be hard. But I am committed to a high quality of life and experiencing um, a quality of life that brings me joy and fulfillment and peace. Right now, with all the devotions, I read a lot of devotions, right?
Hmm.
And I was listening to this old country preacher. He says, y'all read a lot of different devotions, but are you meditating on the word? And it struck me. I heard him, but and it wasn't sound
Mm-hmm.
like a big deal. He said, pick something and meditate on it. I
Mm,
love the 23rd song. It's one of my mother's favorite songs. So
mm-hmm.
from that date, I was on my walk and I was listening to him on my walk. I said, I'm going to start meditating on
Mm.
something. I'm going to pick a scripture and just meditate. And it's become a mantra.
I
I don't
love
even do
that.
the whole 23rd song, just the
Hmm.
first line. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want.
Want. That's
Period.
perfect.
I don't even go to the green pasture, none of it, none of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that right there is so, then everything is handled for me. That's how I'm
Yes.
interpreting that line now, right? So the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I
Mm-hmm.
kid you not, 3 weeks into that,
Mm.
I got 3 new business calls in a scarce time, supposedly. I
Yes.
can't even tell you all this stuff, so I'm just on that one for now. Everybody has to find their way, but
I love that.
part of serenity is really aligning with a higher purpose or a divine presence through practices such as meditation, prayer, or mindfulness.
I love
This
that.
is
And I love that 23rd Psalm, just the first line.
mm,
Like you just said, that's so deep.
that's mine right now, Kelly. I'm not getting off of it. I have to stay bigger than all the noise, all the right
And
now.
all the people losing their jobs and clients, to your point, like the work that we do, type of work that we do, and the spaces that we work in,
Yeah,
a lot of people are cutting. And so
yeah.
being able to say that with conviction and faith,
hmm
and you
And
have three
having said
calls.
that, I'm not going to call it a coincidence. I think it's a context because
Hmm.
within 3 weeks, I think I got 3 new deals within a month period of just being
Hmm.
like very focused on my focus.
Amazing.
I was focused on the focus. And I don't listen to the news just on a need to know basis too. because I can't afford to be saturated with that. I know that
Mhm.
my spirit is extremely sensitive. And if I take in that stuff, then I start to take it on. And there's no room for that. I don't have capacity to thrive and listen to that. I
I
either got to
agree.
thrive or listen to the nonsense.
Uh-huh.
So,
I 100% agree.
yeah. So the other thing that is also true about it is the state is not this state of serenity is not about being calm, but finding a deep, resilient tranquility within.
Hmm.
Because you know how you say, "Oh, let me just calm down." This is how I'm interpreting it. Let me just calm down. Well, no, it's a bit more than that. Finding a deep, resilient tranquility within, enabling one to face life challenges with grace and clarity. Now that was the definition, and it just rang for me and rang for me. That last one I think is one again. It's ongoing. What can we do? What is the gift? So for me, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, has provided for me a tranquility and an abundance. It's reignited I live in an abundant state of mind. It's
Hmm.
reignited my abundant consciousness by
Yeah.
simply it's given me a tranquility and an abundant expectation in these times.
Yes.
Because all of those things are true. And the other side is true. There's still billions of people that have financial abundance that could use the services I provide.
Yes. I love that. I love
Mhm.
the definition, every single part about it, the acceptance, surrendering the ego, aligning with the higher power, and actually meditating on it, and I love your example. That last piece, I do want to question a little bit around
Yes.
finding resilience and tranquility, particularly, let's say you have a 25-year-old person, young
Mhm.
man that you birthed, living at your house on the couch, and not necessarily, you know, in our minds, looking to get a job or, and has a roof over his head and food in the refrigerator and all the things, how does a person in that space, and I see a hand up, and Nikki, I'm coming right to you in 2 seconds. How does a person in that space maintain or find that tranquility when you're like, we have some boundaries here, and there needs to be something, but
Mhm.
how do you find that peace and tranquility when there is a constant situation, I'll just say,
I
right
think
in
it's a
front of you?
moving target, to be honest, Kelly.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it's a moving target. I don't think it's one and done, or, like, okay, again, look at who we're
Hmm.
dealing with. So this is where the acceptance comes in again.
Yes.
This is my current state.
Yes.
Like, see how rude, I mean, like deep acceptance. This is my current state. So in my master's course, we have a distinction that we call have what you have.
When you say your master's course, tell people who may not know what that is.
So it's a transformational training course where we really support people in mastering their lives in the different
Yes.
aspects of their lives. And one of the distinctions in that course, which I didn't like it when I first heard it, because I heard it as give up, give in, but that is not what it is at all. Have what you have. I know Deepak and some other people talk about in way before him, resist what we resist persist. So if I got a 25-year-old on my couch, right? And I'm
Hmm.
resisting that. I'm not accepting that. It's a point of irritation. I'm focused on the irritation of it all and all of who he's not, and they're in my space. That will
Hmm.
expand. Whatever we focus on becomes the biggest. And
That's it.
inside of that lies our power or lack of power. it goes back to that molecule example that
Oh, we talked about earlier from
yeah,
Taharka. He
yeah.
said that last week. It was so
Hmm.
deep. He said,
Hmm.
take those micromolecule moments and turn them into bigger moments. So look at
That's it.
the micromolecule positive. Where is that micromolecule? And eventually it gets bigger.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Hmm.
oftentimes we'll do the things from responsibility because you're the parent. I want to
Yeah.
offer something there. Is that is inside of most people look at responsibility this way from the context of duty obligation. It's my
Hmm.
duty, it's my obligation. I'm
Yes.
the parent. I have to do it. I have to take care. Well, that's not true.
Hmm.
I'm going to offer responsibility this way. How am I using my power and ability to respond? That's responsibility.
Hmm. Hmm.
How am I using my power and ability to respond? One. Two, you
Hmm.
don't have to do any of it. You're choosing to do it.
Got it. Yes.
And so I choose to, as frustrating as this is,
Hmm.
as upsetting as this is, I'm
Hmm.
choosing to allow my 25-year-old to sleep on my couch because I cannot uh, stomach or phantom the thought of my child being homeless.
That's right.
I'm choosing it. But
That's right.
if you have to do it, you become a victim. And then if you're a victim, we get pissy and we get angry and it's toxic and it just it's not it's a no win.
That's right.
No win.
I love that. And it's the
Hmm.
choice. It's the
Hmm.
choice to say, I am grateful that my child is here and healthy and living. There's a lot
Hmm.
of people that are on this call or have been on this call or been guests who have lost a child, you
Yeah.
know. So I love that.
And I would say trust that
Mhm.
when it's time for it to be different on your end, the old saying, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll make a different
Mhm.
decision. But
Mhm.
until then, have what you have.
And look for the positive,
Yeah,
the
I
macromolecule
guarantee you
moments.
frustration if I'm in a minus 12 degrees weather and I'm wishing to be in 82-degree weather sitting on the beach, that is a formula for misery. You know what I mean? So if I'm in minus 12, I need to get a fire going and get some good gloves or something
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
have what I have.
And yeah,
But
I
wishing and
love
hoping,
that.
yeah, wishing and hoping undermines
That's great. And it's
anything
back
to
to the
change.
serenity and the tranquility. You answered my question. So,
Yeah.
Nikki, I see you have your hand up. Good morning. Feel
Hi,
free to jump
Hank,
in.
how are you? Thank you so much for this conversation. So this is, everything is always in alignment. I'm listening to, one thing I'll say quickly about the thing that I started doing. I said, it's time for me to focus on the solutions and not the problems. And so I just been living inside of solution. What's the solution here? Where is the solution? Back to the wins. My son is 28 years old. I'm grateful that he's not on drugs. So he's not using fentanyl. He's not on heroin anymore. He smokes cigarettes, but that's his choice, right? But he's
Mhm.
not on heroin. So I am really going, Nikki, are you saying you're happy he's smoking cigarettes and not? No, I'm not. I'm grateful that he's not smoking heroin. And I know
Yeah.
what that was doing to him. And this other thing that he's doing, he now has tools on how to manage that when he's ready to stop that, right?
Mhm.
It's no longer this. I don't want him smoking in my house. I hate the way cigarettes smell. So that's a conversation we get to keep having. But I am clear, I keep going back to, but I'm grateful that he's not getting high on heroin today. And
Yeah.
I'm saying it for today because I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about, today. He said he ain't okay, great.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is I'm listening to my own voice. There's the book, The Science of Getting Rich, and Watts or something. And I recorded myself reading this book. And so I went back to listening to it. And one of the things that he said was, don't focus on the poverty, right? Because this can go for wherever. He says, focus on the wealth, the richness. You see someone, you see poverty, wish them well, see them wealthy,
Mhm.
see the richness that is available to them as you are seeing it for yourself. And then that is what begins to occur all around you. And so
Mm.
I was walking down the street this morning and someone was like cursing me out. I didn't even know them. I had on my headphones, but the headphones didn't have any sound so I was like, it's usually a mask. So I heard him cursing me out and I'm thinking, is he talking to me? So I turned around in my ever so black mother woman look like, who the hell you think? And he was like, yeah, I'm talking to you, but from a distance, right? So I'm thinking, well, he's not close enough to do any real harm to me, but I had to give him that mother look like, boy, I will whip your behind. And then I walked away going, and I'm wishing him wealth and I'm wishing him wholeness. I
Yes.
was like, God, this is hard because I don't know him. My first reaction was, this is why open carry is a law. Like, that was the initial
Mhm.
thought. And then I said, yeah, but then someone's son would be gone because I didn't
Mhm.
have control over my thoughts and my reactions.
Mm.
Wish him love, wish him wealth, wish him healing because clearly he could use healing. And I just talk, I literally was talking out loud, mumbling to myself because that was very difficult. And I recognized that that could be my child.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was deep. Nikki has spoken up a few times here, and the gentleman that was our guest, I guess last week, is her cousin, and was such a blessing to all of us. And Nikki has shared her journey, which I appreciate, and so much vulnerability. So
Yes.
thank you for always sharing such gems.
Yeah. And that's what Nikki just described is an example of what we were
Mhm.
saying. It's in
Yeah,
action. It's an action. It's a real time, in time choosing. She
yeah,
chose it, to wish him well in spite of all the other stuff that was going on. And that's the way the muscle gets developed. You're at the
that's right.
point of choice. You got all of these emotions. You could go left or right and you
Yeah,
choose to do what she did. So that's building that muscle from the
right.
science of getting rich in other ways.
That's right.
So that's
It's
so
so
powerful.
important. Can
Mhm.
you share a little bit, but because I can't believe we're going to be out of time shortly, because we could talk all day long. You talked a lot, and you talked in the past about gratitude. So we just talked about serenity and what that really means, the definition and the three ways it's articulated. Can you share also the power
Well,
of gratitude? It's like what Nikki just shared.
gratitude,
It's like
I
being
tell you,
grateful he's not doing heroin.
that's it.
And
She just demonstrated
she
gratitude
did.
at the highest level. I want to just give the points on serenity, and then I'll just say my two
Yes.
bars on gratitude. So,
Okay.
just some things to think about. Serenity is about inner harmony and peace, it's about acceptance, it's about connection to the divine, whatever that might be for you and others. It's about letting go, and it's a practice, not a destination. So I just want people to leave with those key points when you think about serenity. And then gratitude is an act of kindness and thankfulness. And what I love about gratitude is that it gives so much back and it asks nothing of us. It's the
Hmm.
ultimate giver. That's how I see gratitude. And
Hmm.
it is a multiplier. The
Yes.
more grateful you are, the more grateful you become. And the more grateful I become, it grows and grows throughout my life, right?
Yes.
And sometimes we have to dig deeper, just like she was saying. I'm not excited that my son is smoking cigarettes, but I am so grateful that he's not smoking heroin.
Right.
Yeah. And it's simple things for me. Like I dropped, you know how you drop a raw egg and it's
Hmm.
just like, it's not an easy thing to clean up. The first
Hmm.
intuition is to curse, like, ah, man, No,
Mm-hmm.
thank God I can bend over and pick this stuff up. Thank God that I
Yeah.
got an egg. Thank God. Now I'm gonna really
Yeah.
make y'all laugh. I just had to pay some taxes, right? Oh gosh. At first I was just like raising Cain about it. This is ridiculous and he doesn't even pay taxes and all these billionaires. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going on and on. And then I got grateful. Lord,
Mm.
thank you that I have a life where
Yeah.
I have taxes to pay.
Yeah.
And then, so no soon as I got grateful about the IRS taxes that I paid, now it's time for the taxes for the home, right? They went up $3,000 this year on our home taxes. For a bit, I was like, they're just gouging me. I can't believe it. I'm like, and I was like, thank you, God, that I have a house where I need to pay taxes. I
Yeah.
pass people every day that don't have these issues, right?
Yeah.
So is intentional is what I would offer about gratitude.
Yes.
Being
Yes.
intentionally grateful. And I think now more than ever, we want to be more intentional about
Yes.
finding the things to be grateful for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I
the
love
thing I
that.
will say, and find a way. I have a gratitude journal. I don't always do it, but I get up every morning. I start in a state of gratitude. And I even say to God, God, I'm not on automatic because I say it every single morning. Thank you for waking me up.
That's
But
right.
thank you. Like I'm present to it. I'm grateful for this gift called life. Thank you. I am not on automatic. Thank you for that breath I just took. Thank
That's
you
right.
that I have eyes to see the flowers in the yard today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I mean, I have a list of things that I just
Yes.
constantly am thanking. And when I look up, the positive has
Yes.
overtaken me. And I'm not talking uh, toxic
That's
positivity. I'm
mm-hmm.
talking real, authentic, grounded in gratitude. And sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
got to reach deeper, like the thing with my mother-in-law. Thank you that she's alive. And now that I'm switched, thank you that I have the privilege to be a part of her caregiving
That's
at
right.
this season. All of a sudden, none of it is a burden.
That's right.
She can call me 10 times in an hour and I get up. What you want, Bertha? That's not really her name. I do that to
Uh-huh.
tease her, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're laughing more, we're making
Yeah.
jokes,
Yeah.
versus the irritation when I was like being all about having my
Mm-hmm.
moment of selfishness. And that's where the grace
Mm-hmm.
for myself came in. And I go, no, I am going to shift because I will be feeling some kind of way
Mm-hmm.
if I continue with this attitude and something happens.
That's
And I
right.
don't want to act kind. My prayer is, Lord, don't let me act kind. Let me be
Be
kind.
kind. Be
Don't let
kind.
me act nice. Let me be nice.
That's right.
Don't
Oh, I
don't let
love
me,
that. Don't let
don't
me
let me
act
act
this
happy
way.
for others. Let me
Be
be happy for others. These are
right.
prayers where I go in to clean out the if any gook is getting in there.
Yes.
And I
It's
love
removing the act in front of. I love that. That's a
don't
wonderful
act kind,
tool.
be kind. I know how
Mm.
to act nice, but when I respond to my husband, let it be really for real the words that I'm saying. Let my heart
Yes.
match what I'm saying, not
Yes.
masking.
Yes.
So that has given me access. And then the old scripture, created me a clean heart. I
Mm-hmm.
keep working on the clean heart part, and that's hand in hand with gratitude.
Oh,
But
I
I
love
don't
it.
beat up myself for my humanity.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna feel a certain way. Yeah, you're gonna get irritated at a grown person laying on your sofa. Okay, give you a moment of grace and then go back to serenity and acceptance and choice.
And gratitude.
Yeah.
It's a different perspective. It's a huge paradigm shift and such a hugely wonderful paradigm shift. I'm a walking, living, breathing practice every day.
Yeah.
And so that is that's why I love talking with you. And before we end, I just want to make sure that if anybody else has anything they want to share or anything you'd like to ask Sylvia, she's such an incredible wealth of wisdom. Please feel free to hit *6 if you're on your phone or come off of mute. If you're on your computer, feel free to jump in because we talked the whole time. And I just love talking with you. It's like a therapy session, even though I know it's not therapy. You're just incredible. Anyone have any comments or questions for Sylvia? before we wrap up this morning? While I wait to see if anybody does that, Sylvia, I know you do incredible change. You do incredible training. You do the introductory program and then you do the advanced.
Yeah.
How can people find out about that? I'll put it in the chat.
Uh, I'll have the dates. So momentum education, anybody that wanted to check that out, that's not me. I facilitate that for them and it's
But you
powerful.
facilitate though. You're incredible,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
in New
good
York
work.
mostly.
Yeah,
Momentum
in New York.
education.
And they're doing it in DC now too, Kelly.
Okay.
So you want to check that out. I will be doing a piece in January, and I'll get you the dates when I'm clear about my dates in case
Okay.
you want to come. And it is the pivot principle, the art of intentional pivoting. Most people pivot in reaction, and there is a power in being intentionally pivoting. Most of us pivot because
Intentional.
life throws us a curve. And that's
Yes.
because we're not clear about where what our posture is. So it's a
Yes.
very powerful piece that I'll be doing in January, and
And that's
I'll
in DC or San
I'm gonna do
Francisco?
that one. It'll be virtual. That'll
Oh,
be
it's
over
virtual.
Zoom, so you
And
can
is that on
come.
your web? Will that be on your
It'll
website?
be on my website in the next. Give me another week or so. Probably after Thanksgiving, I'll have it nailed down the dates and stuff. I was doing it in December, but it just getting too noisy and holidays and Christmas and all of that. So we decided to do it in January instead.
I
And then
see. And it's
anybody that
Aiming
wants.
High Inc. I'm going to put the
Mhm.
link in the chat. Aiming High, like
Amen.
Sylvia High,
Mhm.
aiminghighinc.com.
Mm-hmm. And then anybody that, often I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with, you know, mothers, fathers,
Yes,
executives,
incredible.
leaders. So if anybody wants to do any one-on-one coaching, I offer a complimentary discovery call to see if it's
Okay,
good. And they can see that on the website as well.
that's awesome. And I do see a hand up. Taj has her hand up.
Hey,
And then,
ladies.
good morning.
Good morning. I
Good
just wanted to
morning.
say thank you to Sylvia because unfortunately, my mom passed away from having dementia, and but I just wanted you gave me a gift, whether I can use it now or not, is understanding. If I knew what I know now, and I learned, I told myself, and I learned later on that I was more angry with the disease than I was with her.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm.
I love you know, just everything that you've just shared. So thank you for that. I needed that in this moment.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Beautiful. And there's another woman, Marie, it looks like. You came off of mute. I'm not sure if you wanted to say something or if that was just a mistake. Either way. Well, no. Okay. So, Sylvia, we are at time.
Okay, love.
Thank you for being here. Do you want to wrap up with any final comments as we move into Thanksgiving season?
Stay thankful. And this is what I would say is take every day
Mm-hmm.
a moment. It could be 5 minutes to take those deep breaths and find a way to affirm and renew. Deep
Mm-hmm.
breathing, whatever that is that can build you up.
Yes.
Do it as many times. Find a mantra. It's really working for me. And I don't mean mantra like automatic, but a way to take a beat, take a breath, and remind yourself that all is well
Mm-hmm.
and will be well if it's not well. So
Yes.
ways to keep your cup full. And yeah,
All is
keep
well and
yourself.
will
Yeah.
be well.
Hmm.
All is well and will be well.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
And
I love.
happy Thanksgiving to everybody and happy
Yes.
holidays and don't miss the moments. Remember to
Yes.
be present and enjoy it and not be so busy doing. That's what I
Right.
offer.
Doing and teaching and trying to tell people what to do. Which is so funny. And so I just want to remind people, Sylvia, I've taken her workshops, incredible. So go to aiminghighinc.com and Sylvia offers incredible one-on-one coaching, and she also offers these workshops, her own, the one she mentioned that's coming in January, and she facilitates momentum education, which is also incredible, intense weekend experience, but worth every second.
Every second. Yeah.
Hmm. So awesome. Oh, and Nikki says Sylvia was my momentum facilitator. And
That's
Nikki
right,
B, that's
Nikki.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, I love you and appreciate you. And I'm going to turn it over
Thank
to
you.
Dr. Vicky to close us out this morning in a prayer. Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Oh, welcome. Good to be here.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Sylvia. This was amazing as always. Thank you, Kelly. God, we thank you for this day that you've given to us, and we choose to rejoice and give you glory. Thank you for the reminder of the power of gratitude and acceptance, and for the privilege to live with inner peace and harmony in spite of what life brings to us, in spite of circumstances. Thank you for the reminder that gratitude is key, that you've already ordered our steps, and that you've given us powerful and strong relationships and connections and community like the SonRise Project and like Sylvia's community and all of the wonderful work that she is doing in the world. We are just so grateful as we enter further into this season of gratitude. Bless us to continue being a blessing to others. Thank you for wisdom to be better parents, to be better people. Thank you for the work of the hands of Kelly and Dee and Sylvia and all of us who have impact in the world. Now bless us today to be a blessing and bring us back together again on next week. Thank you, most importantly, God, for the reminder that our inheritance is serenity and that we have the power and the capacity to accept the things that we cannot change, for courage to change the things that we can, and for wisdom to know the difference. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. No more words. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back next Sunday, 9 a.m. Have a beautiful day.